Hello, we're doing a Reason 8 review. This is the Reason 8 beta, the non-logging, full speed version, Reason 8. Yeah. Alright, what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through Reason 8. I'm going to tell you about a lot of things that I would have liked to see that are not here. Things that are here that I've been waiting for and that I'm happy are finally here. And I'm also going to tell you about kind of an overview of what I personally think of this update. We're going to start out in the preferences. And we're going to move on to the mixer. We're going to go to the rack, the sequencer, the transport, the browser, and I think that's about it. Alright, let's get started. Alright, preferences. Preferences are all pretty much the same. You got your language, you got your advanced, you got a scratch disk, which you had in Reason 7. You got all this stuff here, controls, surfaces. Audio, all this stuff's pretty much the same. Something I would have liked to see that is not in this update is a checkbox to disable auto routing. Disable auto routing checkbox. I know you can hit the shift key, but I forget. And so I got the device, now I got to disconnect it, now I got to delete the mix channel. I like to build everything from the ground up, so I just like to throw some devices in and wire everything up myself. So a checkbox to disable auto routing is something I've been waiting for. It's not here. I would have loved to see it. Alright, that's enough for the preferences. Oh, there's a couple of new windows right here. Window, there's a new missing sound window. Say you load up your redrum, now you move your sample somewhere on your computer, then you reopen your project, now you have all these missing files, so now you can replace, search folder, you can basically reconnect all your missing samples, so that's kind of nice. Alright, moving on to the mixer. The mixer, here's the mixer. Everything's pretty much the same. Something I would have liked to see in the mixer is a way to save your channel strip settings. Save your channel strip settings, like this, the low high pass filter, the EQs. Maybe I'm putting a compressor on here. I would like to somehow save just the channel strip settings. I don't like to use templates, and I'm using templates just because, for channel strip settings, I would just like a way to save my channel strip settings. That'd be really nice. I can't tell you how often I'm up here, I'm EQing or something, and my mouse drifts a little bit. I would have liked to see some kind of a lock icon, and maybe once you lock a track, it could, maybe a color overlay, so it's locked, and it's done. It's the channel settings are just how you want them, and then later on you can a way to maybe collapse your channels into a bus. Maybe collapse these somehow. That would save and organize your mixer. I feel like when I get a lot of tracks, I feel like my mixer gets really disorganized. So it'd be nice to be able to collapse these into a bus channel. So that's the mixer. Everything's pretty much the same. These things are two horizontal rows instead of one vertical row. All right, moving on to the rack. The rack. Here's the rack. Rack. The rack's pretty much the same. Something I would have liked to see in the rack is a way to decrease the screen resolution of just the rack, because I use a 1440 resolution monitor, and oftentimes these little things are so hard to see. It's like they're too tiny. Other DAWs, you have your plug-in and it pops out and it's a big thing and you can see what's going on. I would just like to have that somehow implemented into Reason. If you could just adjust the resolution of just the rack. I like the 1440 resolution. I like the high resolution on the sequencer. It's great on the sequencer, but on the rack I have a hard time seeing certain things. Another little thing is a tooltip window, like a window. Maybe you could put it over here by the navigator. You could put it above or below the navigator, but when you hover over a button, eventually you get a tooltip, you're like, oh, your LFO rate is 0. Well, and now it's 33, and what is it now? I would like to somehow have it where when you hover over any button, any adjustable parameter on any synthesizer or effect, it would show you a tooltip window at exactly what the setting is on that particular thing. Would have been something I would have liked to see. I mean, it's little things, just little things that I notice in my normal workflow that would be nice to have. Okay, we're moving on to the sequencer. The sequencer, very happy with the sequencer. I love the new sequencer. You can double click now. Oh, it's a lane. It's a MIDI note lane. You don't have to go here and mess with it. You can just you don't have to switch tools. You don't have to do this. I hate keyboard shortcuts. Double click. Look at that. Guess what? Double click. Whoa, a MIDI note. I can stretch it. Oh, double click again. It's gone. Double click again. It's gone. I love this. This is something that is, well, in my opinion, this might be worth the update right here. This is something I've been wanting to see in Reason for, I don't know, ever. And I'm extremely happy with this. Another thing I really also like in the sequencer is this button right here. Look, it says close. Oh, how nice. Because before in Reason 7, I noticed I go into edit mode and I'm like, how do I get out? And I'm always clicking. I have to click away. I'm confused. I like to just close it. Oh, there we go. I like that close button. I believe that was there in Reason 5 or 6 or something, and it was I just simple things. I like to have buttons that I can click on that take me where I want to go. I'm not a big keyboard shortcut person. Let's talk about automation. Let's throw in some automation. Here's the automation lane with filter. Let's go with the filter. Right? Double click there. Bam, double click again. Whoa, look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm making automation points. Double clicking again to remove. I'm not having to switch tools. This is great. This is a huge thing. Let's just jam that. Let's jam that out. Here we go. Oh, there it goes. There's my cue. It's right there. I can make adjustments. Nice, beautiful. I also like this button here, open edit mode. Now I'm in a standard edit mode where I can adjust, I like the fact that I can adjust this now. I don't think you could do that before. This is basically your starting point of your automation, or where your current value is minus automation. I'm pretty sure you could not adjust that before, but the sequencer to me is the #1 most improved thing in Reason 8. I love the sequencer now. It's really easy to get around. I like this close button. I like this open edit mode button. I like this close button. It's just much more streamlined. I always feel like I know where I'm at, and that's really nice. Something I would have loved to see in this update that is not there yet is this is an automation lane. I would have liked to right click and have reverse automation. A way you can reverse audio clips, and that's great, but I wish there was a way to reverse automation clips. Heck, even reverse MIDI note clips. Just a way to reverse it. Moving on to the transport panel. Let's talk about the transport panel. Transport panel, I like this look. I like it slick. There's some missing buttons, which some buttons are great. I'm glad they're not there. This is much more streamlined. It's easy to tell where I'm at. I like this. I like that giant blocks button is gone. So you can just hit quantize and it, oh wow, you can just hit quantize and instantly, you don't have to right click and hit F9 or whatever it is. There's a few issues I do have with it, and that's with these buttons here. It says keys. Hey look, my on-screen keyboard. That's handy. I just told you I don't like keyboard shortcuts. I like to have the mouse in one hand and a MIDI controller in the other hand. And so this is great. The problem is, where's the spectrum analyzer? Where's the all these windows right here? Why don't they all have a button down here? Because let's say I want the recording meter. Oh, there it is. But I have to, I have to go to my F whatever keys, or I have to go up here to the Windows menu. Why not just put a button right here on the transport? Why is there one for keys in the Groove Mixer, but nothing else? Okay, what about something here for tools? Hey, if I could double click the tools, and it would bring up, oh, instead I have to hit my F8. And this is another thing, is this floating panel. Now, I love the new browser, but I thought, for some reason, I thought this whole panel would just be gone in Reason 8, and it's still here. And the tool panel I use a lot. And like I said, I don't use shortcuts. It would just be nice to have a little button here where I could click it and have my tool panel out. Because there's a button for the keyboard, and that's it. So now the Groove Mixer, let's talk about this. You have the same Groove Mixer. You have all this screen real estate just floating around over here. You know what this would be good for? Here's this F8 panel again, which I wish would be gone. There's our groove settings. Why not implement this into here somewhere? So now there's one tab gone. Now you just have to deal with the tool window. The less pop-up windows, the better, in my opinion. I think that the regroove settings, why not put them right here? Because you open your regroove mixer and you have this empty space. Anyway, so I just feel like in a way they were working on certain aspects of this update and they just said, "Oh, we'll do it next time." Because the tool window, this F8 window is still here. I use it a lot. They could at least put just a shortcut right here in the transport panel. That would be nice. Now, as far as the F8 panel, I don't see... Let's talk about the browser. Okay, let's move on to the browser. We're done with the transport panel, okay? Why couldn't we somehow implement this, the tool window, into the browser maybe? Because you do have all this space. Tab, maybe a tab or something. I put it this way. If you're going to have the pop-up windows, you might as well put buttons down here for them. I don't like keyboard shortcuts. And so there are issues I do have with this panel still being here. I figured they'd put the groove settings with the Groove Mixer, and they'd put the tool window, somehow implement that into the browser, and you would just be done with this window. Because I find myself constantly using it, and it's constantly popping up, and then I'm having to put it away, and hit F8, hit F8 again, hit F8 again, hit F8, hit F8 again, hit F8 again, hit F8, hit F8 again, hit F8 again, hit F8, hit F8 again, hit F8 again. Alright, let's talk about the browser. Browser's great. I like the browser. You got your instrument, your effects. Now your effects and your creative effects have been basically consolidated into one menu. There's all your effects down there. You got your utilities. You got all this stuff. Now you can drag and drop any of this stuff. So you basically just drop this right into the sequencer. There it is. It's great. It's like, oh, look at there. I got all my stuff dialed in. Now let's flip the rack around. Let's hook it all up. But no, I like the browser. The browser is happening. Now what you have to do is with your samples, you actually have to hit the edit. So the sample edit. See, now the sample edit has been implemented into the browser. That's great. I mean, because there's a button there, and it's the same exact window. So the edit sample is exactly the same as it was in Reason 7, but at least you have a button right there, pops it up, and so you can do whatever. You can import a sample, or you can import that right into the sequencer. You can have a little sample. So the browser's happening. I really like the browser. The browser is pretty sweet. Not a lot of issues with the browser. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to scoot this over. Now I got icons right here. So everything's been collapsed into icons for maximum screen real estate. So you can pretty much get 2 full racks, your browser and your navigator all in there on a 1080 resolution. So that's pretty nice. So I like the fact that these can be collapsed into icons. Something here where you can right click and basically assign different icons for these. So what do I think? I don't know. The Reason 8 update it's nice. I think that you're getting a lot in the area of the sequencer. I think you're getting a lot of improvement there. The browser, really handy, really nice. But there's a lot of things that I would have liked to see in this update that aren't there. I will start with something that I would have liked to see since the very first time I ever used Reason is a darker interface. Something, a grayscale, something darker. When I work in the sequencer, my eyes burn out. I would like to see something like maybe this color gray or this color gray. Or just an option to go something besides this blazing white. Even a textured white would be nice. Another thing I would have liked to see is, in the preferences, a checkbox that disables auto routing. That's something I've been wanting for a long time. Another thing, in the mixer, a way to save your channel strip settings. Maybe a lock button on the channel strips. In the rack, maybe a way to lower the resolution so you can see the devices you're working on wiring up. So maybe an adjustable resolution just in the rack. Other things in the sequencer, a way to reverse automation clips, even reverse MIDI note clip. Transport panel, I would have liked to see. I like the buttons for the keys and the groove mix. I would like to see buttons for all the other panels right down here in the transport panel, because I'm pretty happy with the new transport panel, but it just has keys for buttons and groove mixer. Why not buttons for everything else? That'd be nice. Am I going to get this upgrade? Probably, when I can afford it. I mean, the upgrade price of $129, you know, I was kind of expecting more. Mainly, you know, you get your 2 amps from Softtube, and those are nice. What you're missing here is a new instrument, perhaps. I think that this should have been included in the upgrade, really. It is a Propellerhead device. It goes hand in hand with the bass and the amp. And, you know, I would like to see them maybe use this as a promotional piece. If there's not enough people upgrading to the new Reason 8.0, then maybe offer this. You know, if you upgrade in the next 30 days, we'll throw in A-list electric guitarist. You know, maybe I'll get this upgrade. I will get it because I really like the browser, and the sequencer the improvements to the sequencer are worth it. But like I say, I'm going to have to, you know, save my money for this. I'm not going to be running to the bank. I'm not going to be, you know, but it is a solid upgrade. But again, I would like to see more. Mainly in the, I'd like to see more devices included with the upgrade. So that's pretty much my view on it, and I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you.